Have you ever felt like someone was always pulling the strings in your life? Maybe they made you feel guilty to get their way, maybe they used charm or pity to control you. It can leave you feeling confused and drained. Today we're exploring insights inspired by Robert Greene's ideas on manipulation, how to spot toxic people, protect yourself, and turn their tactics against them. Recognize the signs of manipulation. The first step to stop being manipulated is to recognize it's happening. Manipulators often hide behind smiles, compliments, or friendly gestures. But look closer. Are they always seeking a favor? Do they twist your words or use guilt to push you around? Toxic people often study your reactions. They notice what makes you tick, your dreams, insecurities, or fears, and then use these to gain control. One day they might flatter you, the next they might subtly insult you. These shifts in behavior are designed to keep you off balance. When you feel unsure, you become easier to sway. Keep track of how you feel after talking to someone. If you often feel guilty, anxious, or confused, there's a good chance you're dealing with a manipulator. Understand their motivations. Why do some people manipulate others? Often it's because they want power without openly fighting for it. They might crave attention, admiration, or control. They learn to push emotional hot buttons in others to get what they want. They may pretend to be helpless so you feel compelled to help them. Or they might make you feel special so you'll stay close. Robert Greene's ideas show that people who manipulate are frequently insecure. They worry they're not important enough to gain respect naturally, so they resort to underhanded tactics. Understanding this can help you see manipulation as a sign of weakness rather than strength. Don't let their insecure behavior dominate you. Once you realize manipulation is a cry for control, you'll stop seeing them as all-powerful. Master emotional distance. One powerful way to outsmart toxic individuals is to learn emotional distance. That means stepping back from the feelings they stir up in you. Manipulators rely on emotional reactions. If they can make you angry or sad, you're more likely to respond without thinking. That's what they want. So when they make a sharp comment or try to guilt trip you, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself you're dealing with someone who wants a reaction. Don't let them have it. Instead, respond calmly. I need to think about that. This not only buys you time, but also throws them off their game. Emotional distance is like a shield. It protects you from reacting in ways that let them control you. Observe patterns, not just moments. A manipulator's power comes from their ability to fool you in the moment. But if you watch their actions over time, you'll see patterns. They might shower you with praise when they want something. They might gaslight you, making you question your own memory to avoid blame. They might do a sudden favor so you owe them one. Don't focus on just a single incident. Observe the big picture. If you notice repeated moves that serve their interests while draining you, you can confirm that they are in fact toxic. Recognizing these patterns is vital. Once you see the bigger design, you'll feel stronger and less confused. Patterns reveal truth. Look for repeated strategies and behaviors that aim to control or manipulate. Set clear boundaries. One thing manipulators hate is a clear boundary. They thrive in the gray area where rules aren't firmly stated. Maybe they'll text you at odd hours expecting an immediate reply, or they'll drop by unannounced claiming they just happen to be in the neighborhood. Setting a boundary means letting them know what is and isn't acceptable. You might say, "I'm not comfortable discussing that," or "I need time for myself tonight." They'll likely resist at first. They might push harder or try to guilt trip you for being selfish. Stand your ground. If you stay firm, they'll realize they can't breach that line without consequences. Boundaries are your personal guardrails. They teach manipulators that your mind and space cannot be trespassed on. Use their energy against them. According to insights inspired by Robert Greene, a great defense can be an indirect offense. Instead of confronting toxic people directly, because that can lead to drama, use their own tactics against them in a subtle way. For example, if someone uses flattery to gain favors, respond with polite distance. Thank them, but don't offer more than you're comfortable giving. If they try to pull you into a guilt trip by saying, "After all I've done for you," gently remind them of facts. State, "I value your help, but let's be clear on what actually happened." Doing this calmly exposes their manipulation without an aggressive showdown. Another approach is to redirect their energy. If they love gossip or negativity, steer the conversation toward neutral topics. They might get bored and leave you alone. By not feeding their manipulative habits, you lessen their power. Let their own schemes run into a dead end. Keep it calm, and you'll come out on top. Stay aware of your weak spots. Manipulators target your insecurities. Are you someone who fears rejection or craves approval? Do you hate conflict so much that you'll agree to almost anything to avoid arguments? These are the soft spots that toxic people look for. Make a note of what triggers you. Maybe it's the fear of disappointing others or the need to be liked. Once you know where you're vulnerable, you can guard against it. When you sense someone poking at that weakness, remind yourself, this is my Achilles heel. I won't let anyone use it against me. Knowing your own weaknesses makes you harder to manipulate. Practice self-awareness to close the gaps manipulative people seek to exploit. Beware of the victim tactic. A common move by toxic individuals is to play the victim. They tell sad stories of how everyone's against them, how they're misunderstood or treated unfairly. At first, you might feel sorry for them and rush to help. Then you notice they do this over and over. Suddenly, you're always lending money, time, and emotional support while they give nothing in return. Keep in mind that some genuine people do need help and are truly down on their luck. But chronic victimhood is different. It's a strategy to get sympathy and favors without accountability. If you see that pattern where every problem is someone else's fault and they never take responsibility, you're likely dealing with manipulation. Being compassionate doesn't mean being gullible. Offer help wisely with set limits. If someone is always in a crisis and never trying to improve, ask yourself if you're being used. Gather allies. Don't face it alone. Facing a manipulator alone can be draining. If this toxic person is in your workplace, consider talking to a trusted coworker or manager. If it's a friend or family member, seek advice from someone you respect. You don't need to name call or start drama. Simply gather clear observations of what's happening and ask for help or advice. Sometimes, sharing the situation with someone else can reveal angles you didn't see. They might confirm that the behavior is indeed manipulative, which makes you feel less isolated. Allies can also step in to help set boundaries or provide emotional support. You don't have to fight every battle alone. A support system makes you stronger. Allies can offer both perspective and backup. Choose your battles wisely. Not every manipulation attempt needs a grand confrontation. Sometimes the best strategy is to quietly distance yourself from the toxic person. They might not even realize you're slipping away until they've lost their hold on you. If you do choose to confront them, plan your words. Keep it short, direct, and calm. State what behavior you see as problematic and how you expect it to change. Don't engage in a lengthy argument. They'll try to twist your words or guilt you again. Stand firm, then step away if the conversation escalates. Your energy is precious. Don't waste it on endless debates with someone who has no intention of changing. Build your inner strength. One lesson we can draw from Robert Greene's work is the idea that knowledge of human nature protects us from those who try to deceive us. When you learn how manipulative people operate, you become more confident. You trust your instincts and don't second-guess yourself as much. Consider developing your strengths, your skills, your goals, your sense of purpose. When you have direction in life, it's harder for someone to sway you. You won't feel the need to rely on a manipulator's approval or fear their criticism. You'll know your value comes from within, not from what a toxic person says. Personal growth and knowledge about human behavior act like armor. The stronger you are inside, the less influence a manipulator has over you. Toxic people are out there, and manipulation can creep into our lives in ways we don't expect. But remember, you have more power than you might think. By recognizing their patterns, keeping a cool head, and setting boundaries, you protect yourself. You can even turn the tables by using their energy against them, all without stooping to their level. Most importantly, don't let their negativity define you. Focus on your strengths, your self-awareness, and your growth. When you do this, manipulative tactics will slide off you like water off a raincoat. And if that toxic person still tries to pull your strings, you'll see it coming from a mile away and know exactly how to respond. Remember, knowledge isn't just power, it's freedom. By understanding the secrets of manipulative behavior, you free yourself from the grip of toxic people. You learn to stand firm, stay calm, and protect your inner peace. Let their tricks bounce off you and watch how quickly they move on to find a more gullible target. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. Stay strong, stay aware, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.